something. So let's start off and see where we get to, and see if anybody else comes in. Yeah, to talk about groups, and I think probably once we've had I'm happy to sort of start it off and start talking through groups and from the start, and then you know, people's experience is going to be more helpful to others, I suspect, than just me. So please chip in and talk as we go.
A quick question, Chris, before we start: is this being recorded?
Stephen's doing it today.
Thank you, Stephen.
Right. Okay. So I will share my screen. Okay. Right. Okay. Can you all see the see my test system here?
Yes.
I'm assuming yes. Good.
Yes.
Right. Oh, hang on. Somebody else wants to come in. Right. Okay. So so what I'll do is I'll go right back to the start as far as groups is concerned, and then, as I say, you know, either speed me up if you're all happy, or chip in, or whatever. So, okay, setting up a group. We want to start with a group from scratch. We go to the group list that's there, and on the top right-hand side here, you have add group entry. However, before I do that, one of the things I will talk about, sorry, I'm going to just go back a stage, is to talk about group coordinators. And how they get set up, because I think there is sometimes some confusion about that. So a need group authority if you are to be a group coordinator, and you set up in the authorities. The G makes you a group coordinator. So you must have that, even if you set yourself up in the U3A contacts as well, but you must have this, because you won't be able to make changes to groups unless you have that this ticked. So okay, so that's the first stage. If you're a group coordinator, set that to G for them, or the administrator needs to set it to G. Secondly, you have two types of groups in the contact list. So the first one, called groups, here we can see it in the type column. First one, called types. They are what you might call full group coordinators. They will have the authority set up in the authorities, and you can have as many of those as you want. So, and what you set up in here is you obviously assign a name to the group coordinator, and put the whoever the person is, and then if you as the group coordinator want the emails relating to that group coordinator's emails, to come to a different place to your personal account, you set it up in the generic email here. Now, the second type of group coordinator doesn't have group authority. You don't, or doesn't need to have. It can do. But it rather defeats the object of doing it. The idea with the restricted groups is that you can allocate one or a number of groups to a specific person, and if you do. But they are only able to work on those particular groups. Whereas if you have a group coordinator with a group's authority, although they will get emails associated with their particular groups, they do have overall group access and can do anything to any group. Whereas a restricted group coordinator can only amend groups that they are specifically assigned to. So hopefully that sort of clears that up as an issue. So so I will go back to now creating a group. So to create a group, you've got to be you've got to have group authority, and you do it by pressing the blue cross here. Then you have a drop-down selection, or you may have a drop-down selection. There are three distinct types: the standard group, a registration group, and a payment group. But registration groups and payment groups are optional and can be turned off in systems details, and in which case all the groups you set up will be standard groups. So it's so this drop down only comes if you've got more than one type of group. But so if we start with a standard group, obviously the first thing to put in is the group title. Oh, I don't know. Wayacre Bath, I don't know, just call it something. Yes. You assign a leader to it, and then that's just anybody can be any member can be a leader. So you just select the person's name. You can have a second leader if you want to. The second leader is kept up to, it gets the same levels of authority as the first leader, and also gets all the emails and things as well that the group leader gets. Then in terms of selecting your group coordinator, those ones you've set up in the U3A contacts sort of come up here, and then you decide whether or not you're going to go for a restricted one or or an ordinary payment. Oh no, don't want that one. I'll just have group coordinator out and about.
Just to let you know, Chris, when you click on the drop downs on this screen, we don't see the drop downs.
Oh, don't you?
No.
Okay.
Well, I certainly don't.
Righto. Okay. Right. So, okay. Yeah. So are you saying it's when you've got a group leader who leaves, but you haven't got a replacement yet? You can't just take them out and nothing happened for a while. You've got to have a group leader in there. Yeah. Yes.
What we do, Stephen, is if we go missing a group leader for whatever reason, and we think somebody will step forward in, let's say, a fortnight or whatever, all we do is we make the group leader the same named person as the group co-ord.
Yeah.
Am I right that if you delete the first leader because they left the U3A, that the group stays there with no leader? You can't edit anything because the moment you edit it, it won't let you save because there isn't a group leader. Right, but I've found that if you don't do anything, as long as you don't try and edit the group, the name just goes blank. So it actually stays in the list, but with no leader.
Oh, I see. Well, you're saying when you've deleted them, when they've left.
It doesn't tie up and flag up, oh my God, you've got to edit this thing. It leaves it there. But it's only if you try and edit the group, then you would hit trouble because you wouldn't be able to save anything without putting a leader in. But if you just leave it there, it actually stays in the group list. And then if you want to put a new leader in, you can do that. I take the point that putting the group coordinator in would also work, but we don't contact people through the group leader. We contact them through the group coordinator anyway, so that wouldn't affect us.
Right, and you do get a message when you delete a person, don't you, that if they are a group leader, it tells you if that they are group leaders. So
yes, you do, but they say it doesn't do anything to the group. It just removes the name, and you end up effectively with a blank group leader.
Yes, you do. That's right.
That's the only way to get a blank group leader.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not quite. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that.
No, that's fine. Okay.
You don't have to do anything with the group at the point where the person leaves. Obviously, if they want to cease, if you've got an existing member wants to cease being a group leader, you can't do that.
So, is there any downside to not having it? Does everything work okay if you don't have a group leader in there?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I mean, we've not had it. I mean, I've had that more often, I think, than I've had people ceasing to be group leaders, because when a group leader decides they don't want to be leader, we tend to just leave their name for a couple of weeks while somebody decides whether we can find a new leader, and at that point it then gets deleted or replaced according to what happens.
Righto. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So moving on, and the next thing is the venue. You just select a venue there. The venue is important if you're using. It's more important if you're using venue booking, but I don't think anybody on this call is using venue booking. I think only Neil actually uses it, so it just basically takes an entry from the venue list which you've got, which you can update separately on venues.
We tend to use it, Chris. I mean, it possibly doesn't apply to smaller U3, smaller geographic area U3As, but because we cover sort of, God knows, we're probably about 6 miles by 7 miles in area. You get people that live in, I'm going to use place names here that you just won't know, but if we've got somebody who lives in Breton and they want to join a group and they look and all of a sudden the place is in, I don't know, Alton Southgate, they go, oh no, I can't get there by bus, too far to go, so they don't even bother joining. So that's why we use venues. Yes.
Well, of course, you can have your group list by venue anyway. I think, so you can regionalize or your show which groups are in which areas. So but it's just another report, right? Okay. Right. Okay. Start date, which is fairly obvious, just the day you want the group to start, and then you either decide put an end date, or you can keep it running a year ahead by just checking the rolling end date, and that will always show you dates 1 year ahead of when you look. So it just keeps it running. Do people use the rolling end date rather than the defined end date?
Yes.
Yes, very much. Yeah.
Always.
Yes, we do. Always.
Yes.
Chris, I have a question. Can you hear me about this?
I can.
Okay. We use the rolling end dates for virtually all of our groups. When all the data was imported from an old database system, our group coordinators went through and set up all the start dates, and they did this, I think it was in about either December 2020 or January 2021, and set everything to a rolling end date, which needed to be. Recently, I had somebody phone me up and say, all your groups are out of date. They're all showing 2021. Because, of course, that was when the group started. They've all got rolling end dates, so the future dates showing up are fine. But when they look at the list of groups, those groups all show January 2021. So the start date appears to be something that shows permanently for a group.
Yeah.
We would quite like that start date to roll on as well. Otherwise, in 3 years' time, people are going to look at all our groups and think, blimey, there's nothing happening in 2024. It all packed up in, or is all set from 2021. I got this complaint that all our groups are out. Can we roll the start date, or can we not show the start date when we're using rolling dates?
Yeah, can I second that? Yeah, either to roll the dates, or from our point of view, probably not displaying it at all.
Yeah, not displaying.
We don't run our groups for a year. We run them indefinitely.
Yeah, we're the same.
Yes, although I know Holmes Chapel, I think. I don't know whether Nick's on the call. Is he? No, he said he was coming, but anyway, I think Holmes Chapel make people reapply to their groups each year because they've got so many people wanting to be members of the groups. They can't. In order to give everybody a fair chance of being part of them, they make everybody reapply each year, and they have an open day, and that nobody can join before the open day. They can join online on the open day, but they can't. They've got to wait until the thing there, and so that's why it runs in that sort of way. I don't know whether anybody else runs their groups on a yearly basis or a periodic basis, but I think probably the idea is to get your group and keep the part of the just keeping the thing up to date is.
Would it be possible to have a switch as to whether the start date is shown or not? Because we find that getting group leaders to do anything online is quite hard.
Yes, I'll second that. Yeah.
Agreed. Yep.
I suspect everybody agrees with that. Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah. The only reason we do run groups, we've got one fella. He runs sort of short courses, as it were, but it's all to do with canoeing and map reading and what have you. He will run a 6-week course, then have a 2 or 3 week break, and then run another 6-week course.
Yeah.
So it's handy to be able to see the start date and the end date in that case. That would be the only reason I could see for us keeping it. But apart from that,
but they're not rolling end dates, are they? It's when we've got rolling end dates that the thing's going to carry on forever potentially. But the start date is going to be further.
There's a definite decision there, isn't there? Whether it's a rolling one or not, then maybe that's the thing. You don't need a switch or anything. You just if you've got a rolling end date, you have a rolling start date as well. I think that would probably fit the whole thing, wouldn't it? That fit everybody's.
That would work.
Yeah,
that would improve things for us. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah, and for us.
Right. Okay. I got it written down. Right. Okay. So next then, so things like payment groups and such like, they don't fit into this at all. I mean, they're more specifics. They wouldn't have rolling dates, so they'd have start dates. Well, start date and finish date being the same. So anyway, we'll come to those later on. Right. So if you check the thing, obviously you then it takes away the end date. In fact, it generates it, and when you click on it, and hides it. So then you've got application date, and this is what I was saying at Holmes Chapel particularly. They have an application date where their open date, and they actually use the application time as well. So their opening time doesn't start until 10 o'clock. Their open day.
We do that in Congleton as well, Chris.
You do that as well. Oh right, okay. Oh fine, okay. So do you use the rolling date thing as well, or not?
We do actually, yes, and I agree that some of the dates look a bit old when you're checking the rolling end date, but we've got like the cycling groups and things do rolling end dates because they just keep going all the way through the year. But we have term times for many other groups, so we do a mix.
Right. Okay. Good. All right. That's fine. So right. So that's there, and you must have been using that for years. Then I expect them to be. Yes.
Oh yes, it's being used again this year.
Right. Okay. And then closing date is a date by which you apply to join. Sorry. Yes, you can't apply to join after this date, so that so people know what their numbers are and these sorts of things. So, okay. Right. Next, meeting frequency. Meeting frequency is there are basically two sorts. There's a weekly one and a monthly one. The weekly one, if you set a group up as weekly, then it will generate all the dates between your start date and your end date, which in a rolling date is 12 months ahead. And so it will set up all the dates that between that on the day of the week that you choose. If you there's a sort of subset of that one, and that's the fortnightly one. That also sets up all the dates every week. So it's 52. It'll set up 52 if you've got a rolling one. The idea being there that fortnightly doesn't necessarily mean fortnightly, and you might have a gap of 3 weeks, or or close down with the summer or something, and therefore you can. And we'll show you in a bit in terms of turning dates on and turning dates off. But fortnightly works very much the same as weekly, but it changes the description. You have a different description. You have monthly, and if you select monthly, then you're still selecting a day of the week, but now you get an option to decide whether or not which week in the month the particular meeting is. So if you put one in there, so then you get it on the first week of the month, the first Tuesday of the month, and obviously that works for 2, 3, 4, and actually works for 5 as well if there is one. You can also put in -1, and you can put in -2, and that is if you put -1, that is the last Tuesday of the month, and if you put -2 in, it's the second last Tuesday of the month, or whatever day you choose. Right. Okay. Let's just put the first Tuesday of the month in. Time of the meeting. This is optional, except again if you're using venue booking, then it isn't. But if you're not using venue booking, then it's just straightforward. You can just put those times in, or you can leave them out as you want. Attendance cost. If you want to put something in there, you can say, well, it's £2 every time you come, and you pay £2 per session, or whatever. It's again optional. It's not something that you can put it in or not if you want to. You've got two categories that you can use for analysing these and showing them in category groups if that's what you do. So you can select 2 categories, and they're just and you can maintain this category list elsewhere in systems details as you want to.
Can I ask a question on this, Chris?
Yeah, sure.
When you list your groups on the system by category, it's only using the first category, isn't it? And I've not found anywhere that the second category does anything. So is that just for your own purposes if you want to run reports?
No, I think if you select by category, the report category, and then you've got the drop down which says group cluster 2.
Yeah.
It will include the groups that have got group cluster 2 in either the first or the second category. So,
so the category list would show the same group twice.
no. No.
So I'm not understanding what a cluster group is, because we're
the categories table in system details, Chris.
It can be gardening or computer.
Yeah, okay, I am understanding. So where is the second category actually made use of?
Right.
Outside of a report that I might choose to write.
Yes. Right. If you give me a couple of minutes, I'll get to the end of this rather than abandon this, and then I'll come back to
it. Okay.
Oh, I've lost it anyway. Timed out on me. Wasn't quick enough. Right. I'll show you the answer to that question now. So if you go for a group category, so I don't know which ones I've got in twice, but if you then select category and you select group 2, that's given us 4 groups. So they could be they could have either been the first category or the second category. So if you've got 2 categories, they'll appear in 2 categories when you do the selection. See what I mean?
Yeah, I must admit, Chris, I've never ever spotted that select category on the horizontal toolbar.
It can be switched on or off, Alan.
Oh, perhaps we haven't got it switched on then.
Yes, that's the same for us. I just looked on our system and we haven't got that set on, so that'd be why I've not seen it.
I didn't know you could switch it off. Can you switch it off?
I think you added a switch, Chris, a while ago. Yeah.
Oh, it's probably to do with the menu.
The menu length, yeah.
Yeah, when the menu length got very long, you can turn it off because it gets in the way, and yeah, because if the menu overflows, then it causes an issue, doesn't it?
But there may also be something behind this in that the categories table within system details, you have to switch on second category shown or not in that as well.
No, Richard, I've just had a look. It is me being totally blind. We have got select category turned on, and I've just never seen it.
Right.
We don't.
Oh, good. Oh, well, it's a learning process for everyone. Yeah, good. Okay, right. Okay, I'll just catch up from where I was a minute ago then, and just oh, I can't remember what I called it now. Okay,
Day trip somewhere.
yeah, wait, yeah, okay. Start date tomorrow. Check. Oh, right. Okay. Application time. I've just said it weekly on a Tuesday. I won't put attendance costs in, so I just put in group cluster 1. I won't put a second one in. Right. Okay. We're down to where we were. If we put a description in, you can put a description in here, but it will be a straightforward text description. If you want anything more sophisticated, you just sort of put, you can just put a couple of dots in or whatever you want, just to record there's something there, and you will come to changing the description in a short while. If you just want an ordinary sort of an ordinary description, an ordinary set of stuff, you can just pop it in.
Limited to 1,000 characters.
It's text, isn't it? It's text 1,000. Yes.
Yeah.
It's 1,000.
Yeah. It's 1,000. It's a max of 1,000 characters in that description box on this screen.
Is it a certain font size, Chris?
The system defaults to the same font for the whole system at the moment, unless you change it, and that is
DM Sans
16, I think.
16.
I think so.
Okay.
But yes, so at this stage it will be the same as the rest of the thing. But obviously, again, you can change all that when in the description change, which we will come to in a little while. Right, okay. You've got comments and comments here. You can put anything you want. It's really there for only the group leader and group coordinator to see. Nobody else will see it. It's just a way of recording some background information, really, if you want to use it. Don't have to. Right, then you've got a few switches at the bottom here. Display telephone means that when you when the group is displayed on the thing, whether or not you show the group leader and second group leader's telephone number so they can contact them. If you put none, they just won't appear. And you've got the choice here of group 1, both, group 1, group 2 or 3. Oh, you can't see my drop down, so you can put that in, or that in. And it's just a question of whether you want their telephone number to show. Right, total places in the group. This is if you leave it at 0, then the group always shown as, I think it's group completed or finished, or group finished. But obviously, you'd only do that if you wanted to show that. But I think, I can't quite remember what the wording is, but it's a different wording. If you leave 0, you get a different situation on the listing. Right. Recently, we've done this change to the waiting list so that you can set the waiting list size for all groups globally in systems details. Or if you want to, you can allow groups to override it into their own thing. It's there at the moment. It's set to a default of 999, and it's set so that people. Yes, I think the set is for the switch to be off, and so if you don't do anything, the maximum waiting list size is 999. But no, sorry, defaults to 9. No, it doesn't. Defaults to 5. I'm sure it does. So the 999 must override the. So if you decide you want to allow people to do it, then it sets that to 999, and then you can change it to what you want it to be.
Chris, can I ask where you set the default number? I know where the switch is that allows the number in that.
It's called, I think it's GL max size or something like that. I'll come back to in a tick. Pick it out in system. Oh, hang on, I've got a list of them here. So the GL waiting list is the switch.
Yes. Yep.
It's maximum waiting list, Chris.
Is it maximum waiting list? Yeah. So if you haven't used it, you'll need to pull it in from the features list into where you want it to go.
Okay.
Right, next one. Members send emails. This is whether or not you're happy that members of the group can send emails to other members of the group. It's a straightforward yes. Defaults to no, and you can set it up if you want to. The next one is about group leaders and booking venues. Since nobody uses it, so if you haven't got that switched on, it won't show. For standard groups, you have an auto accept feature, so that if you're happy, the people can just join the group and leave the group without going through any sort of process. Then you can set your auto accept to yes. And then finally the status, which is you can decide for the status of the thing in terms of what type of group it is, and you can use background colors to actually show it groups of the same type. And fine, I've got 3 options in terms of the. I've got status twice there, but the actual status of the group itself is either live, therefore, or all members can see it, and some visitors can see it, depending on what you've set in your non-logged in options. You've got a draft mode, which is there for coordinators and the administrator, I think, to see. And then you've got archived, which again is the same as the draft. The ordinary member can't see any group that's archived.
Can I ask a question on the group user status and the color coding?
Yeah.
Is the color coding adjustable by us?
Yes, indeed. Yes. Hang on a minute. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just accept this so I don't lose it. Right. Yeah. Yes, it is. So in systems details. There you've got a table here. Well, I've got it. It's called group status. I've got it under group information. And here you can decide what groups you use and also what color. Here, this is the 6.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep.
And then you can just make it whatever colors, any colors you want.
Okay, great. Thank you.
It's confusing, Chris, that on the group list it says group status and group user status, and when we go to check the colors, the group user status are listed under changing group status. But there we are. I'll get used to that, I guess.
The group status, what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's another one of those things that just throws me when I try to work my way through without the manual or something, and I think, oh well, that's one thing and that's another thing, but actually, piece A is thing B over. There we are.
Right. Okay. Right. Fine. So we'll go back to the groups again. Now I can't remember what I call it. Away day, wouldn't it? Okay. So here's the group that we've created. So it's got the description, the group leaders, because there's one, and we said yes, we'd have the telephone. You've got the email contact. You've got the group coordinator you chose, and then you've got the status here, which is a link which allows the member to click on to if they're not a member, if they're a member of the U3 but not a member of the group, it comes up apply to the group and they can do that, which I will do just here. And what it does, it opens this thing, please confirm that you'd like to join the group. You can confirm the application. Just thinking about it and it's gone off. Right. Okay. So I think we must have set that to auto accept, because it's automatically accept them as a member. And now you've got this here, which is another link here, which is a request to remove. I don't want to be a member after all. Click me on there. And I don't think that does automatically. I think that sends an email to the group leader who would then remove them or decide what to do, or give them a ring and say, do you want to go, or whatever. Right, other things on here, you've got, once you put the venue in and it's got a decent postcode for the venue, then you can get a map of the location, which opens there underneath it, and you can close it as you want.
Is the mapping by postcode, Chris, or is it by Eastings and Northings? And if it is by postcode, what's the point of us having Eastings and North? They confuse the hell out of everybody.
Yeah, I don't think there's any point in having. They did have some use at the start. I don't think they have any use at all at the moment. I don't know why. I don't think they're used anywhere in the system.
I probably have more questions on what's an easting and a northing than any other question.
Well, the thing is, if you just use a postcode, it highlights quite a big area. But if you use it goes right down to the very building that you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're like, but
Yeah.
no.
I think what Kay's saying is that the system goes down and defines it much more precisely.
That's
if you do
right.
put the eastings and northings in, you get
Yeah.
the postcode, you get the rough and ready area.
A very big area, whereas if you use Eastern and Northern, it will show you the actual building. You can actually choose the building that you're talking about.
You should go to what 3 words? That's
I
even
was going to
more
say,
accurate.
you know, what
Well,
works more.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Wait,
we're
can I ask a
Eastern
question?
and Northern, so just
We live in a pretty rural area, and the postcodes here in the country, huge areas, and even we'll talk about Easting and Northing, but in practical terms, when I'm telling people where to go, I get Google Maps out and put a dot on it. There's no way of using that in there, is there? Okay. Right, I can remember that.
I
Okay,
haven't used it for some time, Stephen, but it gives you Eastings and Northings. The first part of the post, they haven't started sticking what 3 words on there as well, have they? Because I haven't used it for ages.
Yeah, it does do what 3 words.
Does it?
Yeah. I use it all the time, and it definitely gives you the what 3 words.
I think what 3 words is brilliant.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed that.
No. But then, you know, look, we're not talking about an awful lot of venues here, are we? I mean, it's
Yeah. No, sorry, Chris, that wasn't a complaint. I'm not asking you to swap to what 3 words.
no. It's a 3 meter square, isn't it, or something? 10 meter square.
Yeah, 3.
3 meter square, is it? Yeah. No, it's a clever idea.
Yeah. I put our delivery drivers right on our front doorstep.
Do they? Right.
Some don't.
I think that's where it started with DPD.
Oh, did it? Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Well, they must do, because they advertise it on the television now, don't they, for deliveries?
Yeah.
To use it.
Most emergency services also use it.
Yeah, that's right. That's probably the most important, because if you're out in the countryside somewhere, you haven't a clue where you are. It will drill down right to where you are, won't it?
Can I ask a question? I've got a group set up with the full address and postcode, but when I click show map, it doesn't do anything. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I understand. Thank you.
Right. Okay. Right. All right. So let's we'll move on a bit. Just right. So that's the venue, the frequency. This is this statement that comes up here because it generates from the information that we said we'd have every Tuesday from the 28th of June. Now, obviously that's not always the case. You obviously sometimes you're having multiple days and that sort of thing. So if I just go back into the frequency again, and if I now change that frequency to user defined, you can now, instead of you can put whatever you like, sort of. But you can't if you've got rolling years. Yes, that's right, because you right. So it enables you to change whatever comes up here, but obviously if you're using rolling years, it won't let you do that because it becomes invalid to do, because the rolling year will gradually override whatever you put, unless you put something like every Tuesday, I suppose. Oh, do you know? I wonder whether you can get whether you can use. Oh no, periodically is just a way of changing the description and not changing the. It's another one like the weekly and fortnightly one, so that's not going to help. Right, let's go back to there. So okay, just sort of while we're there on dates. When you set up your dates, you have a. The system will generate if you've got weekly, it'll generate the 52 entries. And if you're not going to have Christmas Day or the day after Boxing Day, you can remove items by ticking them. And when you've got your list at the bottom, it will no longer appear on the list here. So it's gone from the 20th of December to the 3rd of January. Once you use user defined, it could be that you're not going to have one on the 20th of September, but you want to have it on the 21st. In other words, you want to move it away from a Tuesday to a Wednesday, so you can remove the 20th. And add the 21st. So you can fiddle around with these dates and vary them as you want to. But you can only do that if you go to variable dates. If you go user-defined dates. If you don't use user-defined dates, then it'll take precisely the dates that you actually that it generates, except for the ones that you remove by the deletion. Right. Okay. So next thing, perhaps, is to talk about the members, the membership. System will show all the members that you've got. You, as the group leader, can add new members. Here we go. We're at Alan. And it's an ordinary group. You can say, yeah, okay, he's applied. I confirm him. You get an email, and he's a group leader. He's a group member. Oh, and that's because we've got auto accept on it as well. So but yeah. So and you can take members out if you want to. Just by clicking on the red cross. You can contact members through using the email, or their telephone number will come up here as well. You've got you've got the reports here, which you can use to give you the list of people who are in the group. Oh, you probably can't see that. No, sorry. Yep. Yeah.
We had a member who was having difficulty doing the members list, so that it gave the emergency telephone numbers as well, because they were going out and about. Now Richard, I don't know whether he's on this call, Richard from Bury, he actually knows how to use that, but I didn't know how to use that. I've not seen that shown.
You mean this here? This?
Yeah, but not, yeah, but it shows it makes it show the actual emergency number as well.
Yes. Are you saying there's an option there to show it or not show it?
Well, Richard seems to think he does it for his group, and he did tell me how to do it quickly in an email, but I didn't try it out.
Right.
I found it quite straightforward, and you can also see if they've declared medical conditions or any other information you need as well.
Yeah.
Because a wee wheelchair sign pops up at the side.
Yeah. The emergency contacts, Kay, will only come out if the members put in their emergency contact numbers. Otherwise, it won't show at all.
Yes, I know that, but this person was having trouble just getting any at all.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? And I think they didn't know how to do it, and Richard said he knew how to do it because he prints it off for his photography group when they go on days out to photograph specific places.
Right.
I don't know whether Richard's on the call or not.
Yeah. What I do is under useful documents, I've got a how-to folder for group facilitators. And I've done things like amend group meeting dates, how to access emergency contact details, etc.
Right. Oh,
and I send them out to the group leaders as well, because I find the bulk email is a really good facility to define the groups you want to contact.
Yeah.
Or the people you want to contact. So I generally find putting just together some screenshots and that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Chris, before you move off of the members, the little head and shoulders icon thing, the only thing that we've found that is a tad confusing, but we've got around it. You've introduced the join a waiting list at number X, Y, or Z, 1, 2, or 3, not X, Y, or Z.
Well, I think that's been there for some while. Yes.
Yeah. But what happens now is if you've got somebody that's applied, okay, and the group leader hasn't accepted them in, people sitting there they've applied, it comes up, it changes the number of people that they are sitting behind. It's a bit strange, but we're not wildly worried about it because we've just beaten our group leaders up and say, will you keep your lists up to date, for crying out loud?
What it does do is if let's say somebody joins the wait or you fill the group up and so it joins the wait and the waiting list comes into operation. If somebody then applies to join, they go on to that position number 1 on the waiting list. If then somebody leaves that, they don't automatically join the group. You get left with a vacancy, if you like.
Yeah.
And so if somebody goes along and applies to join, they don't fill that vacancy. They go as number 2 on the waiting list behind the person who's been in there longer. So. And it's up then to the group leader or whoever to go in and make that person who's number 1, make them allow them to join the group or delete them or whatever, take some action against them. And so then you can then fill your group up. So it won't automatically let people jump the queue. Yeah.
If max group size is 20, okay, and somebody leaves, but there's been 20 in the group, 2 people join, but they can't let them in yet, okay, because they are at their max. Somebody then leaves. You've still got 2 on the waited list. If someone else asks to join, even though one of those waiters could slot into the space that's been vacated, the list will then show if someone else asks to join as number 3.
Yeah.
That confused the heck out of us to start with.
You don't want people jumping the queue.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Again, Chris, it's not a complaint, but to start with, we didn't understand.
No, fine. Okay.
It was a picnic. Problem in chair, not in computer.
Right. Okay. So we talked about the description. So if now, of course, if you want to have something more sophisticated like links and images, and you want to format it as we went through on the last call, you use this. You use the description item there, which putting in the wrong place there, and now you get the you get what we put in originally, and now you can fiddle around with it by images and links, and you can then fiddle around with the source code if you want to, or you can change the fonts and all that sort of stuff and put tables in or whatever. I won't go into more on that because we did that last time.
Yeah, and one thing to mention, Chris, is once you use that white speech bubble, it overwrites what was there previously in the pen and paper icon. And once you've used the white speech bubble once, you shouldn't go back to the pen and paper icon.
You can't go back to it. It won't.
Oh, can you not? It won't let you. Right.
So look, if I just do put just a return on it and do an update. Now, if we go into here, you get this message. Please use the text editor. Click on the icon to display.
Yep.
You can't actually use it. You have to go into the speech bubble or whatever it is. Right, come on.
Can I ask a question, Chris, on the same thing?
Yeah.
When you use the choose your fonts, there's a whole list of fonts. Are they all available or only certain ones?
Good question. As far as I know, they are all. Oh, I don't. Yeah, I think they're all there. I think they're all part of. Hang on, let's take this one. Yeah, well, that one's certainly there. Yeah, I think they're all there, Alan.
Okay, that's good.
Right. Okay. Now you can now have a second page as well of description if you want to. Obviously, if you don't do anything, it won't show that. But if you start with something, before I go, this when I enter this, it's come up with this format template here. You can create a second page template which you use as a standard if you want to. So this one's got a template with just a table in with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 4 entries in. But you can set the template up to be anything you like. And when you update the second page content, this template will appear. But clearly, if you don't want it, you can just remove it. Just like that. Okay, so then again, you can set your second page up in any way you want. Oh well, let's put a bit more. Let's put a bit more text in. And you can set it up in the same way with links and things as you want. Now you can, because it will be shown as a button on the thing. You have to give it a name. So I don't know, something like more info or something like that. You put that in, you get this button on the top right hand side, which gives you the link into that. You give there, and then you got to remember, if you do this, you want to probably structure it better than I've done there, because obviously it's tight up against the top and tight up against the return button. But you can do all that with your HTML, or just hitting return, and you can put a padding thing in. Right. Okay. So that's the description. The red cross, which deletes the group if you want to do that, which I don't think we want to do at the moment. You've got if you switch it on, you can record financial transactions against it, or allow the group leader to put financial transactions in. And you can put income, you can put expenditure in, and they won't automatically go into the accounts. If they do it, the treasurer has to commit, confirm them. But if you just want to hold information about that, then you can record, I don't know, people's paying out for the venue, or people's £2 a week, or whatever you want to do. You could, I don't know, is anybody using that? No. I know Flint sure are. Stephen's gone, but yeah. But okay, so that's there if you want to use it. Again, you can create a copy of an account. This again is a little bit of history here. This is what we were talking about earlier on, that people who only have them lasting a year, you can use a copy, which it copies the existing one, copies the group over, and it makes it draft, and so you can amend it and change it, and when you want to release it, you can do. But don't know whether Congleton's use that as well.
Yeah, we use it a lot.
Okay, yes.
It's usually when there's a group that's still running, but you want to get ready for registration day.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we have that in the background.
Yeah, that's there.
Chris, did you?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I had to go away and use the facilities. Did you mention that the X and the two little bits of glass, the one you've just covered, are only available to admins and group co-ords? They're not available to group leaders.
That's right. No, I didn't. That is true.
The reason for that was we had a problem. We had group leaders that they decided that created multiple groups, not realizing what they were doing, and we ended up with lists of, I don't know, cycling on a Wednesday. We had about 15 of them, I think.
Yes. Yeah. The copy one is probably more dangerous than the other one. You end up, as you say, you end up with lots. Yes. Yeah. Right. Good. Okay. Right. The more information, or this is a way that you can add things to your group, such as, I don't know, bridge results, or a PDF. Anyway, it's PDF information. You can put PDF information about maybe an away day you did with pictures and whatever it is. You can put anything you like into it. Which you put in a first show date and expiry date, so you can say, oh well, I'll leave it in there for 3 months, and then it can drop away, and it's just purely you just add a PDF. Oh, I tell you what, we'll have an eclectic one result, shall we? And you just give it a name.
This will only mean anything to golfers in here.
Yes, it will. That's true. So now, so you've now got a PDF here, which it shows it is open, but you can, and it will come up here under the more things. So you can have as many as you like under there, so you can have whatever you want, and you can, as you say, you can control it a few weeks and then drops away again. It's I don't know, do people use that? Is that used? Yes.
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 Yeah. Okay. Good. Right. Yeah. Good. Okay, right. The next thing is the group register. This is again, it's you can have it in PDF format or Excel format. You can have it. It gives you basically a ticking box to enable you to see who's turned up. So you've got there.
You need to share that screen, Chris.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. Which it's a funny format which is sort of developed over time. That it's sort of numbers attended, fees. I don't know. Is that format used by people still? Yes.
Some of our group leaders do use it. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right. Fine. Okay. Well, that's available. We'll go back to there. Okay, we've done that one. Email, bulk emails to the group. You can either email the whole group, or you can just email a small subset of the group. There's a contact only group member. So if you've got a big one where you've got people applying and that sort of thing, it won't send it to if you click on there, it'll just click the ones that are actually a member. and then you've got this same email format here, which you can set up your emails or attachments or whatever.
One thing I've noticed on that, if you change the subject and then start typing in the content, I think when you do save email body, it resets the subject back to what it was originally.
Yeah, I think that's what it says, and it saves the email body, not the email subject.
No, but if I've changed the subject, I lose my change.
Yeah, because that's so. The other is obviously you create an email, and then send it. So, but if you've got a big email, then the save email body is just to make certain you don't lose the massive amount of information. It wasn't necessarily it's. I suspect also if you've got attachments there, it doesn't remember those either. It's just saving the stuff that you're typing in. Really, that's what it. Yeah. Oh, I see. So you a template, which is there's no templates. Oh, I see. There's none. Well, what I would suggest is then that if you raise a ticket, and then it's the sort of thing that people will look and sort of comment on and say, oh, well, perhaps maybe better put it in the administrators thing. Let's if it's something people want, then we can put it in, can't we? If it's yeah. It's on the bulk email, is it?
Yeah, if you choose personalize when you're first setting up your bulk email. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Stick a ticket in or stick it on the thing, and then yes, with what then? Yeah. Okay. Right. So that's emails.
Sorry, can I just ask on the bulk email while you're on there, why is it that you can't personalize one when you have attachments?
No, it's not that. Oh. No,
on the bulk email, not the group email, Chris.
Oh, bulk email.
Yeah.
Oh, with attachments, 500 all in one go. It only sends out 10 with it was so you weren't sending out masses. But if you personalize it, then obviously it sends out an individual email for every single one. That was the thinking behind it.
Right. Okay, right. Thank you.
Okay, right. So I think I won't go into the finance report because I think we've it was just you that were using it, wasn't it, Stephen? So right. The next thing to do is subscriptions. So this enables you to make recurring charges on a group, so that if somebody's a member and you want them to pay, I don't know, let's just say as an example, they got to pay per term per week. I did it easy. per week, number of periods, 12 weeks. Yeah, so you can do, I don't know. So what you want them to pay, all members, £10, and exclude from accounts would say yes. Right. Okay. So you now you can ask all your members to pay £10, and when the group leader can keep track of who's paid and who hasn't. So you can pay by manually, you can pay by direct debit, you can pay by credit card. So we've set this 12 weeks, £10 for your 12 weeks attendance at whatever this one was. And if you're happy with that, you can lock it in by clicking on the green thing. So that will just take that. So now it will send out emails to all the members, asking them to pay their £10, and now the group leader can keep control here of who's paid. So if setup administrator hands them the 10 quid at the meeting, they can record the payment here. Oh well, I've got cash, and now it's recorded in the financial system as well, but it also records the fact that the person's paid. So they can pay by credit card, and if they do that, then the system will get automatically updated. They can pay by direct debit. Again, the direct debit system will go through and will take the money on the next run, and we'll update it here to say that they've paid. Or you can take the credit card over the phone. The group leader can take the credit card themselves over the phone by clicking there. I won't do it. Yes, there is. You've got to switch on the subscriptions. There is there's an email. There's several things. There's an email format. There's obviously a switch, and I think that's basically it. Yeah. Yes. Oh, it's a subscription account. No, sorry, it's not. It's called group subscriptions, set to allow group leaders to charge subscriptions.
And I believe you'd also need to set it up to take group payments by credit card. I think there's a switch for that as well.
Yes, yes, there is. Yep, there is. That's right. Yes. Oh, well, it's anyway. It's there, and of course, unlike payment groups where you're paying to join the group, this is something you can repeat. You can run it every three. If you're running a rolling group, then you can every year say, or every 3 months or whatever it is, you can say, right, I need your 10 quid or whatever it is. So it's there, and you're able to keep control of it, who's paid, when, how, and if you're using the finance system, it also records all the payments and manual payments and credit card payments and direct debits payments in the system.
But don't forget, there's a cost with your Stripe charges, isn't there?
There is. There is.
Do you build that in?
Which is why we don't use it for groups.
Yeah,
Phyllis.
yeah, we're the same, and things like for some of our outings, they go for a deposit first and then another payment, so you're double whammied.
Yeah, we're just in the throes, Stephen, of moving to the co-op bank, which is, I believe it's all online banking, and they don't charge for electronic payments and what have you. Whereas at the moment we're with Barclays and we get whacked 60 pence for every check.
Yeah, manual payments. Yep. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Sorry.
Who are you talking to there? Sorry, Stephen. Yeah, I think we're slightly more, but not too much because we're not a registered charity.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. For membership, it's really good.
Plus 20p, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I'll move on. Email history. You can the system records all the emails it sends out, so you can see who's been sent to who, and just it gives you a good record of what's happened in terms of the account and what changes you've made and such like. So it's that's quite useful. Right now, the other thing in here is the multiple images. So you can. Right, you can record a if you want to put an image in the system and you don't want to go through all the hassle of positioning it and that sort of thing, you can put an image in here and click on fixed position image, and that will put it in the top right of your description. If you want more images, then you can do that, and you can record them here and then include them in your description. But you can also, oh, hang on, I haven't done it yet. I better do it. Choose a file. Choose a file. So you can just add multiple images here, and then if you do that, you can switch on the gallery and have it as a button here, which will show the images you've added, or you can pick up the references of these images and put them into your descriptions. You can do what you like.
Yeah, always look at your pictures in a photo editor first. I got a freebie from my BT days.
Try the GIMP. Stephen, try the GIMP. That's free. It's just like Photoshop. The GIMP, GIMP, General Image Manipulation Program.
It's called the GIMP.
Yeah.
Really?
General Image Manipulation Program.
I've got images here of a bloke with a black leather mask on with studs all around it.
Funny enough, that's the logo.
Well, you won't forget that. Right. Okay. Look, where time's getting on. Just you can switch off this at the end here. This is just a switch to switch the gallery on and off. You can just use that there. Right. Okay. So we've done the basic groups. Now, I think we just need to talk about registration groups for a short while. Registration groups. are essentially there to, if you like, it's a form of bulk email for those people who are interested in a particular subject, so that you can. So setting up one is it's very easy. You don't have to put very much in at all. I don't. Theatre groups. Then you can, I don't know, put a. Won't put anything else in again. Just make it live. Won't have any status, and then once you've got that there set up a little bit better than I am, then you could send out a bulk email to the whole membership and say, anybody who's interested in knowing anything about our theatre trips, go and join this registration group. And then once you've got, I don't know, 100 members or whatever it is, you can use that as a bulk email. Use the email function then to send out to all those 100 members that, you know, you've got a trip coming up in September or whatever it is. It's a way really of having a subset of interested people on a particular subject. And that's really all it was intended to be, really, just a bulk email and a feature, a selected bulk email feature. But there is I think there is a feature which you can actually turn. Yes, you can convert you can convert a registration group into a standard group just by clicking on that button there. They won't do it. Right, so that's registrations. Do people use registration groups? Yeah.
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 Yes.
I never used them. I didn't understand until today. I didn't even understand what they were. So thank you for that.
Good. Excellent. Okay. Good. Right. Okay. The third type of group is payment groups, which again, it's slightly more sophisticated than a standard group. The idea being that in order to join the group, you must pay something. You know, once you've paid your money, you can join your group. So if you are going away for a theatre trip or whatever it is, then you can. So I don't know, West End trip. Your leader in. It doesn't really. It doesn't have a venue really. So probably if it's something like this, you probably only have one day. So you'd sort of set it to, let's see, tomorrow, and you put your end date as tomorrow as well. This is where you probably don't use the application date or the closing date for this, because you're here. You're going to, you can do it, but you can do it by cost further down here. So again, you probably wouldn't put a frequency in. You probably go a user-defined entry in there, and whatever you want to put in there. So you can either just have a single cost for the thing, or you can have a deposit to be and then a balance paid later on. And so you put the you want £4 in by the 30th. Oh no, better not do that. That's after the thing, didn't we? Better by today. And you could. I haven't got enough days in here, but so you can have the total cost is £45 to be paid by tomorrow. You've got to assign it to a particular account, and just generally it always goes to groups. You can add additional charges as well if you want to. So So you might want single room supplement. So it's taken me about £45, of course, now. So, and it's £23 single room supplement. You can work out on a discount. You can give a discount. Sorry, yes, you can give a discount for membership of particular things. So if you're National Trust, you get a £5 off. And it's just, oh, that's cross. Go through all the ins and outs. So now, if somebody wants to join the close for applications, how fat,
Chris, before you go any further, can you edit the cost now you've clicked OK? So if you go back into edit mode, you can. It's as soon as somebody joins, you've had it. That's it.
That's it. The joining is because the thinking behind that was that once they've paid, once somebody's paid, you can't go around changing the code.
No, they don't even have to have paid. That was my finding.
Well, what do they have to do?
Just join. So
you can only join. You can only join by paying.
No, you can't. It can be provisional until you pay.
You apply to join and then you're invited.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yes, that's right. Because you'll send out an email saying, £28 or whatever it is. Yes, that's right.
So I think even when you've done that, you've had it. But after that, you can't alter it.
You can't alter it. No.
Yeah,
no.
You can't have people applying thinking it's going to cost £45, and then once they get the
you'd have to get rid of them and say you've made a mistake, because that's what I did.
Yes. Right. Okay. So that's the payment one, and obviously the system's got reminders in there for once you've sent out the provisional payment and said, right, okay, you can join, but you've got to pay. You've got to pay now, and you've got to pay again later on. Then the reminder system will send them an email, I think 7 days before those dates, to say, come on, pay up.
We've used payment groups now for our theatre group for, over a year. Well, certainly since lockdown started to recede, and we're just about to start to use them for travel groups, and they are very, very good for that kind of group.
Can I just ask one question, Chris?
Yeah.
We started to use payment groups, and we find them very useful, as long as the members will actually pay when I ask them to, which they don't. But these emails that go out, I can see they're in our system because we developed the system from Neil's system. But where do I find out if they're actually going to go out or not? Because I might want to change some if I know they're going to go out. Are they automatically, they go regardless, or are the switches?
No, they will, if they don't owe any money. If you don't want the reminders to go, are you saying you want on a bulk basis for the reminders not to be sent?
Well, I would like to know when they go in. I can read what they say in the email because there's loads of different ones. You have not paid, etc.
Yes, you can change the format of that, or if you make it blank, then they won't send it. It doesn't get sent.
Right. So there's no switch to say send this email or don't send this email. There's no switch. There's got to be
to stop a person being sent. No.
Okay.
So no, that you're sort of the only way to do it, if you wanted to be more precise about it, you can set up your own reminder for a group. You just turn off the reminder thing in the system, make it blank, and it doesn't get sent. Then you could do a report out of the system to create the people you want to send it to, and then wrap it across into bulk email, and then you can send those people a note.
Right. Okay.
It's a bit of a faff, but you can do it if you want.
So my understanding is then there's no switch, but if we put all the emails as blank, they won't go out.
That's right. It's an all or nothing thing.
Right. Okay.
So we got to 5 o'clock, and it's been an hour and a half. Is anybody want to talk about any other part of the groups?
No, I find the test systems really good for trying things out.
Yes.
Because it's quite intuitive.
I'd certainly encourage people to use the test system all the time, because it doesn't do any harm, and you can easily find out, how things work and how things don't work, isn't it? Because the test system should be almost a mirror of the live system, except it's a bit further on.
I have a query about the length of groups that was discussed a little bit earlier. Just a quick query.
Yeah.
Most of your U3As, if I understand right, you seem to have rolling groups. Nearly all of our groups are set, whether it's fortnightly over 6 sessions or over a year. And they're all, I don't think we've got any rolling ones.
Right.
And the problem we have is to set people to 0 is that we've had group leaders saying they won't lead a group if we try and force them to go to 0 at the end of a group, and to reset the members to 0 to give other people a chance.
I thought if you copied the group, it copies the members as well.
Well, this is what they're doing. They're copying. They're trying to keep all the same members. And we've tried to say, look, to be fair, we would like to set all groups to 0.
Oh, I see.
But we've had group leaders saying no, because we've had people in our groups who have been doing it for quite a long time, and they're making progress, and therefore we don't want to chuck them out. And if you make us do that, we will stop the groups.
Right. So what did you want the system to do?
It's not the system. I was really asking about the other U3As.
I see. Sorry. Yeah.
Most U3As seem to have rolling groups, or do you have fixed?
No, all of ours are rolling groups, all bar one.
Yeah, rolling.
We have a mixture, but I think this is why Holmes Chapel do their registration for each year, so that they reset the groups each year or each term or whenever.
Yeah, and I think Judith was saying that Congleton as well.
Yeah, so
Yeah, Sandra, it's very much a case of, if they want the same people to carry on, you use rolling dates. And if the committee are banging the table and saying, no, we want you to open up for new members and what have you at the end of each session, make it a fixed period.
Well, we've tried to do that. I'm not sure that our U3A has ever used rolling dates, so I'll have to look into it. We're quite small. We're not yet 500 members. So I don't think we have a concept for rolling dates. We've all got start and end dates. I'll have a look.
Yeah.
But thank you for your
The system will cope with both. Let's put it that way.
Yes, but in Congleton we do have a mixture, and we do have some groups that refresh, if you like, for new members. We have some groups where we try and encourage at least 2 or 3 new members join in the year. So we have quite a mixture.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
ARE tried to encourage, say, a second group to start, which obviously is very difficult to achieve sometimes.
Well, our existing group leaders don't want to start a second group. We're trying to encourage people on the waiting list to start.
Yes, that's what I mean. It's not the same
what
group
we
leader, but
tried.
you've got to get somebody to sort of volunteer maybe within an existing group that knows how it works to take the lead.
Right. Okay. Are we done? Yes. Good. Okay. So we'll do another one of these next month.
Yeah, on the agenda thing, Chris, that you sent out, there are a couple that kicked over from last time. The mobile system, I can cover 3 of them fairly quickly. The mobile system.
I think the idea, Alan, was it was just a rolling agenda. It wasn't meant to be covered today.
Right.
We were just rolling it over and just saying, well, these are subjects that we mentioned. We'll do whatever we can each time. And so be interested. Unless.
Have people set up the mobile on the live system yet? Can you use it?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Really successful.
Yeah.
The reason we know it's successful is the fact of if you use the new Google Analytics, it shows you what devices the people are using, i.e. desktops, tablets, phones and what have you. And we have had an awful lot of people logging on using their tablets and phones.
Right. We're about 50% laptops at the moment, so it's...
At some point in time, I'd like an overview.
We don't use it. I've not set up a new mobile system yet. Just read about the system.
Sorry, Phyllis, did you?
I was going to say at some point in time, I'm brand new to Google Analytics.
Oh,
I'd like an overview sometime.
The new one is very much more difficult than the old one.
I've never ever used it.
It's horrible. It is.
The new one is horrible. Is perhaps a bit of a strong word, Chris, but it's not as user friendly.
No, the old one's gone completely now.
But there's good information from it.
Yeah, as I say, an overview would be very handy. You know, point in the right direction.
Right. So we could do that. Alan, would you like on the next one to actually do a little demo of yours?
No, because I hate the blasted thing.
I know, but everybody else would like to learn from your your work.
Oh.
Sounds good to me.
I'll have a look. I'll have a look and see, but be aware that we are just coming into our renewals period, which is particularly busy. So I might not have time to generate anything.
The system does it for you, though.
Does it heck?
It does.
Not when you've got 2,200 members. I can't do this. I can't do that.
Right. Okay. So we'll do one again towards the end of July.
Yeah, I'll see if I can pull something together on Google Analytics, Chris. But I make no promises.
Yeah.
I had a quick look at the mobile system, but I didn't particularly like the look of it. But it's maybe just me.
It's good. It's good for people on the move. It's not brilliant if you want to use the system in depth.
I've had complaints, say, from a group leader, I can't update my group on the mobile.
No. And it's not what it was designed for.
Yeah. So it's really,
And the only other thing, Chris, that I'll update on quickly, and you probably want to know this, I'm in the throes of trying out the 11.4 automatic take of direct debits. As it stands at the moment, it seems to be going fine. However, it will be tomorrow morning before I find out whether that automatic take actually works.
Okay. I'll probably hear from you then.
Well, I'll let you know if you want. Yeah. Everything else has worked. Everything else has worked up to this point, but unfortunately, it's tomorrow before the sandbox tells me whether the payments have been taken.
We'll be very interested in how you get on that, because we would like to go over to doing direct debits.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely.
It's on the agenda. It keeps sort of rolling down the agenda. What we want to know at this stage is what we actually have to do to set it up. Is that documented anywhere?
Right. Okay. Look. So next time then we'll if we put direct debits in Google Analytics at the top, and then and then we'll go. I don't know whether we might have a sort of review of the mobile system as well.
Yeah.
I think that's on next one. I'm sorry. I don't know. I can't remember. I'll check it out for you. Yeah. Oh, sure I did. I'm sure I did, but I will check.
Yeah. Angela, was it you were saying that you were thinking about doing direct debits?
Yes, the committee's agreed that we can do it, but we actually don't know what we have to do. We've obviously got to set things up, and we were doing renewals in 6 months' time. So
I will have a chat. I'll have a chat with our treasurer and see if she can sort of do you some bullet points on what you need to do.
Oh, brilliant! Thank you.
To set it up. But the system is superb. It's by far the easiest way to do renewals. Let's put it that way, because they do nothing, we do nothing, and Go Cardless just tell us you've got your money. Thank you very much.
That'd be brilliant. Thank you.
Right, good. Okay, thanks all. See you next month.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay,
Cheers then. Bye.
Thank you very much, Chris.